Dad, am I really a polar bear? And the dad looked at it and said, yes, absolutely, you're a genuine polar bear. There's no questions about it. You are a polar bear, I said. And so then, still with a little bit of doubt, he ran off and found his grandmother and said, Granny, am I really a polar bear? And the grandmother laughed and said, of course you are a polar bear. There's no question about it. We come from a long line of polar bears. Your father is a polar bear. Your mommy is a polar bear. Look at me, I'm a polar bear. Your granddad was a polar bear. We're all polar bears. And
I'm a polar bear.
are a polar bear. And so she turned to him and said, why do you ask?
Because I'm fucking freezing.
And the polar bear said, well,
Because I'm cold.
then if I'm really a polar bear, why am I cold? So, when I read that, as jokes go, it's mediocre. It's not that great.
It's not the
cute,
best.
but that's our situation too. Who am I? What are we? Who are we? Why are we here? These are our questions. Because we don't know who we are and we question everything. And there's nothing wrong with questioning everything, if you can find the answer. You can't just question and question and question and question and questions, because otherwise it's going to become irritating for you. I mean, imagine somebody in the car sitting there as you're driving, asking, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Over there yet, Chris?
Nearly there. Hurrah.
And in a way, in our lives, we have gotten so far removed
Nearly at
from
the
what
market.
is reality that we don't know. We don't know who we are. We don't know why we're here. And so this brings me to a very important thing, and it's a word that obviously you have used before, and the word is ignorance. Now, for most of us, what does ignorance mean? It means
When you didn't know.
somebody who doesn't know. That's what ignorance means. If we do something and we didn't know, we say, well, I plead ignorance. So that's what ignorance means. And in this world, we even feel sympathetic to people who are ignorant. Oh, he's just ignorant. But do you know what ignorance really means? That actually comes from a very old word. Ignore. I looked it up. What does ignorance mean? It comes from a very old word, to ignore. Now you realize the implications when the word is ignore, tied to ignorance.
A lot of people here, are
Oh, is this what it is?
Means you cannot be let out of the
Well,
hook.
that's a good sign.
Yeah, it is, huh?
You cannot just say, oh, I don't know, I plead ignorance. I was ignorant. It actually means to ignore, and ignore what? In our situation, ignore what? As human beings, ignore what? Well, ignore the obvious. That's all.
Oh, no entry.
Oh, shit.
Not the unobvious, the obvious. To ignore the obvious.
It's one of my specialities.
And that's what makes us ignorant. That's what makes us ignorant.
It's all in there. It's the closest we're going to get.
Well, I don't mind walking a bit.
Figure this out. I didn't use the word you. I said us. Because whenever we go in our lives ignoring the obvious, that is ignorance. So, it would be only appropriate to talk about the obvious. And it's the one thing that shouldn't be talked about because it's obvious, right? But it has been ignored so much that it is not obvious.
Okay.
Okay, we have to leave you, Maraji.
Yeah. Because we got